Couple Outfitters specializes in adventure gear. Anything you need for getting outside, Couple Outfitters has it and more. Go have an adventure now. Hey everybody, systematic bass fishing is about establishing a process for attacking your day on the water. Today, we're going to learn about those little voices in your head that are talking to you all day long when you're out there fishing. I'm talking, of course, about your intuition. You're spun out, nothing's working, you've been out there all morning, haven't had a bite, you're flying down the lake, headed towards the next spot that's probably not going to produce anything for you, when all of a sudden you look over at the bank, you see something on the bank that triggers a memory, you quickly turn the boat, head to that bank, drop the trolling motor down, pick up a rod with a lure that fits the situation, fire out a cast, start to retrieve it, boom, fish on. What was that? What made you decide to stop at that spot? That something that made you stop and fish that spot is your intuition. Your intuition is the sum of all the experiences you've ever had on the water. From the very moment you first picked up a fishing pole up to the present moment, you have been collecting data that goes right into your subconscious. It's not necessarily right there in the forefront of your mind, but it's there. And it comes to us during the course of our day of fishing. Every time you go fishing, you log data into your subconscious mind, and it will always be there for you. Intuition comes to us in different forms. Feelings, your gut. For me, I hear voices. When I am really having a good day, these voices are loud, and I'm listening to them, and I'm acting on them. Couple Outfitters wants you to go have an adventure now. Couple Outfitters specializes in adventure gear. Anything you need for getting outside, Couple Outfitters has it and more. Go have an adventure now. Spun out. It's a term we hear pros use quite a bit. It's a combination of frustration coupled with the time constraints of a tournament, coupled with the self-doubt that begins to overcome your thoughts. You add all those things together, and it can really do a number on your mind. Time and time again, you hear fishermen talk about the importance of confidence. Well, spun out is the opposite of confidence. For me, when I'm frustrated, doubt overcomes me. It prevents me from hearing these voices that are telling me what to do. It's almost like your mind gets clouded with all these different things, but the doubt is what just crushes it. And I kind of get the idea or the attitude that, well, nothing else is working. Why should that work? I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. We keep continuing to do what we do, and it leads to a failed day on the water. More often than not, though, when I listen to those thoughts, I'm rewarded. The key for you and for me is to focus on those thoughts that keep coming to us. Our subconscious mind is screaming at us to try different things. And what we have to do is we have to allow ourselves to not be overcome by frustration and doubt so that we can clearly hear these things that are telling us to do things. Going back to that run down the lake, a quick glance over at the bank, maybe it was chunk rock and some sticks, maybe it was a sharp point, something like that, but something told you, go fish that spot. And you listened, and you drove over there, and you dropped the trolling motor down, and you fired out a cast, and you were rewarded. Now, if doubt is crushing your thoughts, you're going to keep going right by that spot and continue on just to kind of mindlessly do things. We want to be able to recognize these thoughts that pop into our head. Do they reward us all the time? No. But I can not count the number of times when a ruined day on the water was saved because I got a flash of an idea, and I stopped and I did something, and it worked. Frank Talley won the BASS event at Lake Guntersville. His win came down to a crucial decision that he made on the fourth day of the tournament to fish a spot that he had not practiced on, that he had not fished on at any other time during the tournament. Something just told him it was the right thing to do.
But day 4, and you're running upriver, and then you abruptly stop. And we come to find out that you fished something that you had never fished before. How often do those little voices talk to you when you're fishing, and how often do you act on them?
Nowadays, I act on them every time that they pop into my thought process. Younger in my career, you'd fight it. But nowadays, I've learned the gut, other than your boat and your equipment, your gut is the third best thing that you have going for you, because you just learn to listen to it, because there's a reason why it's telling you to do that. It was strong that morning when I was running up there, and I'm like, you know what? I got to hit this or I'm not going to be able to live with myself. And it didn't take long. When I stuck that fish after the first 2 or 3 minutes I was there, and I was like, that gave me confidence, and I went up probably about another 10 or 15 minutes and caught another one, and then 10 minutes later another one. It just started rolling. I'm like, yeah, you can't drive me away from here for nothing. I'm camped here for a while. I mean, we put $5,000 down every tournament, and we gamble that $5,000 for either black or red. You know what I mean? So, you've got to trust your gut and your instinct, and I've learned that the hard way. I mean, there's times, like I said, that I haven't trusted it, and it's ended up costing me. And I learned to listen to it. And at this level, you have to listen to your gut. I mean, there's been so many big tournaments won that way that, you're just fighting fate if you don't try to do it.
Pros like Frank fish every single day. And as Frank explains, they learn to trust their subconscious thoughts. Frank said those thoughts were strong the fourth morning of his Bassmaster victory. He was dialed into listening to his intuition, and it paid off. Time and time again, major bass tournaments are won by crucial decisions. Skeet Reese won the Major League Fishing Pro Circuit event at Lake Okeechobee. He listened to his voices. In this clip, notice that Reese decided to fish a bank that he hadn't fished in practice or any other time in the tournament. And he made a lure change based on his intuition of what to do when the wind blows.
It was a magic hour. There was, where I caught the 27 pounds, I hadn't even made a cast on all week in practice or during competition. And I spent, 7-8 hours a day in that area, and I never fished the shoreline. I thought it was going to be a flip and bite, which is what I'd primarily been on. But I caught some good ones during the tournament and in practice on the bladed jig. And I was like, man, the wind's blowing a little more than I want over here. I said, let's try the bladed jig. I pick it up, and I mean, one of the first fish I hooked, like a 5 or 6, I lost it. But I'm like, that was a big one. I'm like, whoa. And then I caught one, and then it was, back-to-back 5-pounders. And then I caught a 7, and I caught another 5. And it's like, it was an hour of just jacking big ones, that's as fun as it gets.
Training yourself to trust what your intuition is telling you takes practice. Make a point of trying to act on at least one gut feeling every time you go fishing, even if it's just out walking the bank at your local park lake. Professional anglers routinely listen to their thoughts in high-pressure bass tournaments, and it often results in key catches for them. For the weekend warrior, listening to thoughts might be the difference between a lousy day and a good day. You've done a lot of fishing in your life, and that means you've gained a lot of information. It's there waiting for you to pull from it. Learning to trust your intuition is a big part of making good decisions on the water. Coupled with a good systematic approach to fishing, it's going to make you a better angler. Next time you get spun out on the water, don't look at it as a negative thing. Look at it as a positive. This is an opportunity for you to stop, maybe have a drink of water, clear your mind, and start really focusing on your intuition. Your intuition is sending you ideas, dozens of ideas. Listen to them. Act on them. Watch what that does for your fishing. If you've had an experience where your intuition told you to do something and you acted on it and it resulted in a good catch, Love to hear about it. Please leave it in the comments down below. All right, folks, until next time, keep those life vests zipped and clipped, and we will talk to you again very soon.